Hello everybody and welcome to Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Thinking Pack. Today we are going to be doing some things inside the base. The particular thing that we are going to be doing is a thing that as soon as I get to it I'll explain it. But we are also just going to talk a little bit about the FPS thing, why the GPU is hardly being used and the FPS is low at the same time, because I found out why it's doing that. So we'll talk about that as well. And today we are going to be, and also 60 FPS recordings now, 60 FPS. So the YouTube videos are now in 60 FPS, which is excellent. But we are today doing this fuel loader thing for the rocket because our goal is to get to space. Our goal is to get to space, which we are trying to do, and we need to fuel our rockets. Now, we have our fuel loader connected. We have down here the refinery connected to the fuel loader, so we are filling the fuel loader, except that there is no oil in the refinery to be refined into the thing up there. So we need to connect the refinery to the oil. Now, the oil is right up there, actually. There are the tanks up there. Now, here, whoop, there we go. Here's the situation. We have a situation we could simply connect a pipe, but that is not a thinking pack very much. So, we take shortcuts when we need to for time, but we need, in this case, to do it a thinking pack. So we are going to go ahead and set up turtles, or at least attempt to. I think we can do it if we use the railcraft fluid loaders and unloaders to interface with the turtles, and those things interface with the tanks, and then those things from there go and do the things. So we use a computer craft turtle that we programmed to bring the buckets downstairs to the refinery through the use of a system like over here with the railcraft machines to convert the liquid lava into a bucket form for the turtles to handle. And when they're in a bucket form, then they can go on like that. So we are going to work on that today. So, I said I was going to talk about why the GPU is not being used to its full potential, and yet we are getting limited FPS, like 30 and 20 and stuff right there. The GPU is currently at 50% of its potential. Now, why is that? We'll discuss that in a minute, but first, let's assess the situation. So, here is the overview, or the explanation. The overview was before the intro clip, and now is the explanation. So, this thing is a refinery, and it refines the oil. We need to take the oil from up top there. Now, we have our oil in a tank. One thing that we learned from our previous project to deal with computer craft turtles over here is we learned that turtles cannot interface directly unless there is a way that I don't know about, in which case, let me know in the comments. Whoops. Breaking a torch. But we can interface the turtle with a railcraft machine, and I think it will interface with the fluid loader. We put a tank cart down there, which the turtle does interface with the tank cart to put the buckets in and take the buckets out. But I think it interfaces with the fluid loader, which would make it a lot easier because those things are very easy to make, actually, considering we have the materials just floating around in a chest somewhere upstairs. So, going to basically copy our program, just do a direct copy, not do retyping, only change a few things like tell it whether up or down and things like that. But we're going to do that, copy our bucket filler program, and then we're going to set up probably 2 turtles just to make it simple. 2 turtles to travel between the lava, not the lava, the oil things that are upstairs and the refinery that's downstairs to bring the oil downstairs and upstairs at the other end. So that the first, let's get up here without falling down. The first thing up there, which is the tanks, will have the fluid loader thing and the turtle, and then come down to the other end, and it will need a fluid unloader. It will need a fluid unloader to get the oil out of the turtle. So let's get ahead and get on and do those things. So fluid loader and unloader, let's go ahead and start making them. The recipe is a hopper and some glass and detector, a tank detector, which is bricks and pressure plate. So let's go ahead and get some of that stuff. I'm going to start heading upstairs and explain why we are currently getting, as you can see in the top left of the screen, 38 FPS, 35 FPS, 38, 38, 42. Why we are getting that. Actually, let me just double check on the settings. Yep, we got pretty much everything on maximum. Because for those of you guys who saw the previous episodes where we assessed the situation with the graphics card and things like that, we determined that pretty much none of these graphics settings make any difference except a very minimal difference on the frame rate. Like, we can change all the graphics settings on maximum or all of them on minimum. By the way, we do have VSync off, so it's not limiting the FPS there. And max frame rate is unlimited. But all of these things are, whether they are on maximum or on minimum, doesn't seem to make any difference. The only thing that makes a difference is render distance. That is the only thing that appears to make a difference, unless there's one thing I was forgetting about. It's possible there was one thing that made some difference, but generally they don't really make any difference to the frame rate on this particular computer build. Why? Why is that? Why is that? That is strange. The GPU is not running at its full potential, as I said before. It is running at 54% at the moment, actually. 52%, 55, 54, 53, 55, about like that. The interesting thing, though, let's just quickly check this just briefly. We won't take long with this because we covered it very much so in previous episodes. But we are currently getting around 62, 65, 60, 66, 70, 74, okay, 75. It's getting up a little bit. And also the GPU usage is going up to 70% right now. And it's hitting 80 FPS, going up to 74% GPU usage, 65, 33, 72, stuff like that. Now, why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? The interesting thing is the more FPS it's drawing per second, the higher the GPU usage meter goes, which is strange because you'd think if it's if it is maxing, so basically if we stand here and we turn a bunch of settings off, and we won't spend too long on this because we covered it in previous episodes a lot. Actually, let's leave mipmap on because I heard something online that it apparently actually improves the FPS if it's on 4. Not sure. But anyways, we just turned a whole bunch of things all on minimum, and now it is recalculating the scene, and there we go. Okay. And it is running around 77 FPS, 78, 76, 80. That's about what it was before. 60, 50, 18, and 29. Okay. Things like that. And the GPU is running around 65, 70, 58, 64, 69, like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and put these things back on maximum because they don't appear to make much difference. Now, the reason is apparently because of memory bandwidth limitations. Now we just need to wait for the scene to recalculate again after turning all those things on. Yeah, so memory bandwidth communication, because this particular computer build that I have here, that there are computer build videos coming on the second channel. I'm halfway through editing them for those of you guys, sorry, getting tongue-tied all the time. For those of you guys who are curious, halfway through editing a whole bunch of computer build videos, and those are coming along quite nicely. So those should be coming out sometime whenever they are ready to go out. But there's some bricks there. We don't really need those bricks, so let's go ahead, and we do need that stone though. So let's go ahead and grab that, and let's go ahead and make, we need some iron. Actually, we have some iron. We need some chests. Okay. We need a little bit more wood, actually, and I think we need to chop a tree for that. Okay, let's go ahead and get some wood. Now, the situation is memory bandwidth, because what's happening, this particular computer build has it does not have a dedicated graphics card, so it has the integrated graphics card, which is fine, except it's using the same memory stick, there's only one memory stick in this build because of the way I built it, and so it doesn't have the dual channel and everything, so it's just a single memory stick that is trying to send through all of the data for, let's try to get a sapling out of this situation. Sapling, any saplings around here? But, it's trying to send all of the data that the central processor wants to use, and all of the data that the graphics processor wants to use through the same memory connection. And it's a single memory connection, not a dual connection like is in most computers. So that is why it is running slow. So the solution is one of two things. Either to buy a second memory stick so that I get dual channel, or to buy a graphics card which has its own memory built in, a dedicated graphics card, which means that it will have essentially 2 channels of memory, and so that will take the load off of the memory. Because here's the thing, the GPU will run at 100% usage in, like, the theory behind things and stuff. The GPU will run at 100% usage, which means that it is, when it does that, that means it is generating frames as fast as it possibly can. If the GPU is, let's go ahead and why the sudden drop in frame rate? Because that's out of the ordinary. Anyways, maybe it's the particles. Maybe particles are somewhere. Let's go on decreased for that. But in any case, let's sleep through the night. So what happens when because here's the thing. I was talking to my friend that was helping me build the computer build, because he knows a lot about computers, and he will most likely be, if things go according to plan, he will most likely be in the actual build video. So for those of you guys who are curious, but in any case, we've got a detector, a tank detector here, and we need a hopper. Oh, we need some chests, and so let's go ahead and make those chests, and then talk more in a second. Let's go ahead and make that. We actually need quite a few chests, so let's go ahead and get all of that, because we need the fluid unloader and the fluid loader are basically the same recipe. We need to actually make the chests, and we need 2 of them, not 3 of them. So 2 of them, there we go, and got that done. And then let's go ahead and make the tank detector. Oh, we don't have a, we need a second tank detector, but we need a second pressure plate. So let's go ahead and make that. And then let's go ahead and make the tank detector, and then talk more about the frame rate thing. So that's that, and then we got this, and we do not have any glass. We do not have any glass. Where is the glass? Where is the glass? We have some glass around. Oh, maybe it's in the furnaces. Maybe it's in the furnaces. Maybe it's in the furnaces, maybe it's in the furnaces, maybe it's in the furnaces, maybe it is 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 in this furnace over here. Maybe it is in, no it is not. Where is our glass? We do not have any glass. Apparently we need to smelt some more sand, and we do not have any sand, it looks like, so we need to go ahead and dig for some sand. So let's go ahead and do that, and talk more about the memory bandwidth situation. Now, these sudden drops in frame rate, like we just got there, down to 22, I need to figure that out, because I think that's fixable with the current build. I think it's fixable, but it needs to actually be fixed. So yeah, so anyways, back to the point. So basically what happens, how the game generates frames, is basically the central processor, the CPU, it does all of the calculating and everything for figuring out what needs to be done, and then it tells the graphics card, it says, hey, we need a frame. And the graphics card's like, okay, and it generates all the frames, goes through all the thousands of pixels or millions of pixels, depending on your monitor resolution and things like that, and does all of that. The graphics card does all of that, but the CPU is the thing that has to say, hey, we need a frame here for this, and the graphics card then handles it. So basically what happens is, if your graphics card is running on maximum, that means that it is generating frames as fast as your graphics card can possibly do it, as fast as your graphics card can get through. And I'm oversimplifying things a little bit, by the way. I'm oversimplifying things, but this gives you the general idea. So yeah, if your graphics card is running on full, complete usage, 100% usage, it means it is generating frames as fast as it can possibly generate them. And so that is good. Now, if your graphics card, like the case with my computer build, if your graphics card is not running at 100% usage, but running at less than that, that means that it is waiting, basically. Your graphics card is waiting for instructions. It's waiting for the CPU to say, okay, draw a frame here. So for some reason, the connection between the CPU and the GPU is slow because the CPU right now is only running on about 50, and most of that is because OBS is running. So when OBS isn't running, while playing Minecraft, the CPU is about 25% usage, so it's hardly maxed, and the graphics card is around 50 or so. So that is the thing. And how much sand do we have now? We got just over a stack. Okay, let's go ahead and bring that back and smelt it. So essentially what happens is, whoa, okay. Let me just go ahead and... I don't know if reloading the world would help much. Not sure why it's jumping down to 20 just like that. I'll have to look into that off camera a little bit. But in any case, back to the point. So the point is that the GPU is waiting. That's the problem. So why Minecraft is running slow is because the GPU is waiting for instructions. We need the furnaces, which are over here. We do not have... Oh, apparently we already had sand. We don't have coal, though. We need to grab some coal. And let's go ahead and grab the coal coke. And let's grab a bit more of that stuff, and then go ahead and stick it into these furnaces. And also divide up the sand into these furnaces as well. Okay. And so basically what is the situation is that we need some more coal coke over there, and we need some more coal coke over here as well, and we need some more coal coke over here as well. There we go. Let's go ahead and let those things smelt for a while. And you know what? We might as well get ahead of the game because that's going to take a while. So let's go ahead and get some more sand in the meantime so that it doesn't take as long next time. That would be good. So anyways, back to the point. The point is that the graphics processor is waiting for instructions, is what it's doing. Why Minecraft is running with a slower frame rate. Now, I don't know why the difference... I think I told you guys this possibly in the last episode or maybe in a live stream or something, but in any case, Euro Truck Simulator 2, which is a fun game that actually I could probably start playing if you guys are interested in that one as well. But Euro Truck Simulator 2, I was trying that one and it runs the graphics card at 100% usage, no problem. So I don't know why Minecraft is different, unless it's perhaps the OpenGL for Minecraft versus DirectX probably 11 for Euro Truck. That's possible. That's why the difference. But in any case, so yeah, so that's the thing. So the CPU is not really being used much. The graphics processor is not really being used much. It's just waiting around. And here's an interesting thing, though. Here's a very interesting thing, is that if you run the game on a higher display resolution, so right now it's running at 720, okay? Right now the game is running at 720 resolution. If you run it at 1080, I tested this actually, because 1080 has a whole lot more for the graphics processor to handle, it doesn't process the frame... Oh, dying. Okay, let's get out of the water. There we go. Yeah, because it has a whole lot more pixels to handle at a 1080 resolution, that means that it essentially, the graphics processor does a lot more work and doesn't wait around as long for instructions from the CPU because it's busy more often. So when using, I tried it with Minecraft here. On 1080, it actually runs at 100% graphics card, and it seems to be slightly slower peak performance for frame rate, but it seems to be a lot more stable performance. A lot more stable performance on 1080 than on the 720. It didn't appear, I didn't test it for very long, but it didn't appear to have those frame rate lag spikes. Do you call it a spike when it goes down? Or, like, is it only a spike if it goes up? Anyways, that's besides the point. The point is that, yeah, so on 1080 the game was a lot smoother and more stable. However, trying to record OBS with that at 1080, probably because of the memory bandwidth limit thing, it was not handling very well. OBS right now is having 0 problems, but it was having a lot of problems on 1080. So, because it had a lot more data to handle, even when scaling down to 720 and stuff like that. So, yeah, so that's some interesting things. So, for those of you guys who aren't recording, if you're just playing, then you might actually find if your graphics card is running hardly used, not 100% used, and your game is getting a lot of lag spikes, you might find that it works better on a higher game resolution. It sounds strange, but it just has to do with how often the CPU has to tell the graphics card to do its thing. So, in any case, that is a whole bunch about graphics processors and things, and now we have a whole bunch of sand as well. And let's go ahead and head back to the base and get over to here. We need to eventually make this into a full-on hidden base. Also make it look better inside, because it looks so much better outside with the green grass and all that kind of stuff than it does inside with just a bunch of gray everywhere. It just looks very gray inside and not very home-like, I guess you could say. It needs to be a little bit more less gray. So, let's go ahead and put that in there, and put that in there as well. And let's go ahead and put the rest of the sand in here, and in here. There we go. That is perfect. So, let's go ahead and grab a whole bunch of glass, because we now have a whole bunch of glass. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make our fluid. Whoop. What's wrong? Are we missing the hoppers? We are missing the hoppers. We are missing the hoppers. We are missing the hoppers. There we go. There are the hoppers. And now we have a fluid unloader. And now let's switch these around to make a fluid loader. There we go. We now have a fluid unloader and a fluid loader. And now we can go ahead and head downstairs and set these guys up downstairs. And that is that. All right, let's go ahead and head downstairs. And let's continue with this project. So, the project to make the situation, and you know something, sorry, going back to the FPS thing, the recordings are now in 60 FPS, which is excellent because we are hitting 60 FPS a lot of the time, not all the time. And actually, let me just bring the render distance down by 1 chunk, because that should boost the FPS by about 10 maybe, possibly, once it finishes regenerating all the chunks. But, oh, and we need to be able to connect these two things together. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the beginning of this video, I did mention it in a previous one, or sort of, we explored it in a previous one, which is even better. The turtle cannot interface directly with the refinery. So, like, it cannot interface, and even a hopper, if you put a hopper beside this thing, it cannot interface with the refinery to put the canister in. Speaking of which, we need the canister. It's over at the other place there. But that's besides the point. So, we need to interface with this, and the way to do that is the fluid unloader. So, we'll put the fluid unloader. If it just sits right beside it, will it interact? Possibly not. We need to put it, one block adjacent, or not adjacent, but like spaced out. We need to put it 1 block spaced apart from that thing, and we need some pipes. We need some, oh, we already have some cobblestone fluid pipes. We need some wooden fluid pipes though, and we need some redstone engines. We need 2 redstone. You know what we also need? Probably not before we go to the moon, but we do need very much to get a better storage system and auto crafting. We need to get automatic crafting, because that is very helpful for situations such as this, especially when we get into the more complicated things. And we also need a sheep farm. We need a wool farm is what we need. So, let's go ahead and try to do this. I'm going to go ahead and be back in a minute. You guys have seen me make those redstone engines and pipes and things a whole lot, so I'm just going to go ahead and and cut ahead in the video until we make the redstone engines, get these things wired up at the beginning and end, and then start getting to the program. We also need an automatic wood farm, because just making 2 redstone engines, we completely used up our entire supply of wood that we just got from that tree over there, and so that leaves us in a difficult situation where we have to get more wood just to make a simple wooden pipe. So we need a tree farm inside the house, which we do have room for inside the house, believe it or not. If you're new to the series, we do have room for that, and it's about time, because these things are turning into giant trees, which kind of are next to impossible to chop down. They are possible, but we can manage that better in the house. So let's go ahead and chop down this tree, because he's fairly easy to chop down. Anyways, I'll be back in a minute. We got the 2 redstone engines. We need the redstone fluid, the wooden fluid pipes, rather. We need to actually check if we have any in the chests first, because we might have some leftover ones. Anyways, I'll be back in a minute. You know what would have been helpful? What would have been helpful is to check over here in the first place, because next to these tanks we have a wooden fluid pipe, we had an extra redstone engine, and the pump and stuff. So let's go ahead and use that. The part downstairs under the floor there is already set up, so that is excellent. Now, we need to do something about this. We can just simply... This pipe will take out of the wooden fluid pipe, it will take out of the solid side and put into any clear sides, which means that we just go ahead and take the fluid loader and stick this thing down here, and this pipe will pump into the fluid loader. Now, we can, when we are done with one tank, just simply rotate it into the desired location to handle the next tank, and we can handle it that way, and it'll work out very nicely indeed. So let's go ahead and put the redstone engine on top of that, put a lever on top of that, and there we go. The lever has been turned on, and the redstone engine is running. So we will see that it might fill up. We need to actually take off the top blocks of those tanks, because it might fill up the other tanks. It might fill up the other tanks as well at the same time. These ones, can we see it? Is it filling it up? It might be. It might be. Let's go ahead and take off the top empty tank blocks, and then we know that it will not... The pump will not fill up those tanks. Whoops, then one of those tanks just fell down a long distance. And is this one empty? This one is not really empty. Okay, yes, as you can see, if we stand here for a second, the oil is rising in this because it is being pumped in from this tank. Now, while we're up here, we might as well grab the top of this tank as well for when we rotate the pump later. So, what we are going to do is connect the turtles to the thing and see what in the world is going to happen. And running up this giant staircase for what seems like the millionth time, and you know something that would be very helpful in the future, is to put at the bottom of the base and at the top of the base, put a short-range telepad from Galacticraft. That would be very helpful. We need to go to distant planets to get the materials needed for that. But that would be very, very helpful for these things. So anyways, we're up here. I'm going to go ahead and continue with the stuff and be back with you in a minute. Now, if we are going to copy our bucket filler setup, we need a few things. We need... Oh, 96 FPS for a second there. Nice, 97. Okay, anyways, back to the point. We need a place where the liquid comes in that case, liquid oil. We don't need that probably, the tank cart. We do need a turtle to interface with this thing. We need a chest, 2 chests to be precise, and we also need a turtle to bring the items back and forth. So, let's go ahead and set that up in the other place. So, here we have our fluid unloader. So the turtles travel down to the place down here, and then we have our fluid unloader. So the rocket is right about here. We have the fluid unloader here. We shall put the interacting turtle right there. Underneath him, we shall put the one chest down there. Let's get this chest down here. Let's get this chest down here. There we go. And also one chest above the turtle. There we go. So the input chest and the output chest for the canisters. Where's the canister? There, empty canister. Empty canister! Alright, so let's go ahead and try to do something with this. So, we shall need 2 pathways. We shall need the one turtle to travel probably backwards. We need the 2 pathways to not get mixed. Not get mixed. So, the one turtle travels backwards that way and then up. Nope, because there's a pipe in the way. Actually, that can be fixed. That can be fixed. That can be fixed. Iron kinesis pipe. We need the iron kinesis pipe. Okay, let's go ahead and stick this thing down here. Oh, and we need to oh boy, this is going to be fairly big of a job to do, because every time we move one of these and we put it back, we shall have to adjust it with the wrench. But it is doable. I'll be back in a minute. The pipe has been moved. All right, now we can take Mr. Turtle and send him directly up that way. And he will go through the floor and come up, and the other turtle, which will be up here, will go directly up above his head. That is the idea. So this guy's path is simpler than this guy's, actually. So let's head all the way up to this level. Let's pick up the piece of carpet that fell off and is... Where'd it go? Did we pick it up? We did pick it up. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Anyways, so these 2 turtles will head up all the way to the top there. And once they reach there, then they will connect with those tanks. And now we have to climb this staircase once again, go through this side of the base. And you know what? Like some of you guys were saying, perhaps it is about time to fix this staircase. And we actually need to go this way. We need to go this way, through here, past the tanks, and then here we go. And, okay, oh, I just realized that frame rate sudden drop, the lag spikes, might be from the fancy graphics. So, the turning off fancy might help with the lag spikes. Anyways, okay, we got the fluid loader here. It is already full, which is nice indeed. Okay, except that it means we can't move it very easily, which is a bit of a problem. Well, I guess we'll have to work around this. We'll have to do a fairly long, complicated path for the turtles, so that is okay. We can manage all of that stuff. And let's see, I think we'll get to the programming of it, which should be fairly simple, actually, just mostly copying the programs that already exist over there. The turtle pathway program might need to be reprogrammed a little bit, possibly. But we'll look into that, but we'll program that next episode. But for now, we'll finish setting up the basic infrastructure. So, fluid loader. Let's see. So the turtles come up that way. They have to come around here, come over to the fluid loader. And when they reach here, we need a turtle to interface with the fluid loader. And we need a chest on top of the turtle. Whoops, didn't mean to open that. There. Whoop, there we go. That is a chest on top of the turtle, and we need a chest underneath the turtle, which we do not have a chest. So, you know what? It would be very, very helpful to set up an auto-crafting system. Auto-crafting system would be very, very helpful right about now. But for now, let's make an extra crafting table. Extra crafting table for this area. By the way, the Applied Energistics mod over here, if you guys hadn't heard of it, Applied Energistics has digital item storage, and one of the benefits of it is that you can set up a terminal anywhere that you can run a wire to connect to, what was I making? A chest. To connect to your entire storage system. So we could set up interface terminals throughout the entire base on every level, and then we could get things going really nicely that way. We can access our entire storage system and auto crafting and everything from any room in the base, which is excellent indeed. All right, let's go ahead and continue this. So let's see, we got our turtle there. We got our fluid loader. The turtle interacts with the fluid loader, and we got the chest above, the chest below, and we're gonna have those 2 turtles come along this way and reach this area, and we'll need to put up block markers for them. Oh, perhaps not. Perhaps all we need to do is GPS coordinates. Actually, that would for the sake of simplicity, because I mean, a thinking pack is supposed to be... Stop walking into the wall. A thinking pack is supposed to be complicated, but it's not supposed to be impossible. So I think to make it a little bit easier, we're going to go ahead and, you know what? Here's an idea for the floor here. Finish the sentence. Okay, we're going to... Ouch. I just took the fall damage now, just the second batch of fall damage. Anyways, yes, so just basically copy the program, and it works based on detecting blocks to find to change direction. So that's the thing. Anyways, this floor, as you can see, we were trying to make this floor out of gold slabs, but we do not have nearly enough gold slabs to make this floor. So I think what might work best is to take these gold slabs and take them out of the area and put them in the entry room upstairs, because that room is a lot smaller. And so we can go ahead and take the gold slabs into that room and replace this room with some sort of carpet. Might work best, actually, because that would cover the bedrock as well. So it would look really nice. So that is an idea for the future. We should do a base decorating episode. That would be fun. And if you guys have any ideas for how to decorate, we need to actually make our sheep farm first. What was I doing? I was going upstairs for some reason. Why was I going upstairs? No idea why I was going upstairs. That's a problem. So let's go back downstairs and hopefully remember why I was going back upstairs. Anyways, yeah, so we should do a base decorating episode. We should do that after we get our sheep farm split into a whole bunch of different colors and things like that. That would come first, but either way, this is now a way for the turtles to get through. We now have the basic infrastructure for a rocket fueling thing with turtles bringing the fuel from the oil tanks up there. And the nice thing is that when we get them from the oil tanks up there, we should fairly easily be falling down the hole. We can do that fairly easily too, but we should fairly easily be able to send the turtles into the tanks that are above in this section as well, which would be excellent indeed. But for now, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that. If you have any questions or comments or whatever you happen to have, then put them in the comments section down below. And that is the turtle section down below, but you can put it in the comments section down below. And that is the situation. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and stuff like that, and next time we're going to be continuing with this thing and trying to program these turtles next episode, and that is the plan. So see you guys later. Bye bye.